Well, hello there, podcast people. This is Tow Truck Wags, and I have got some outstanding news for you. The problem I have had so far with this podcast is simply just finding the time. You see, I'm a full-time tow truck driver, a full-time content creator, a husband, a papaw, a dad. And there is not much time left over after that, and I have to drive my little tour bus around here to sell shirts to make ends meet. That way I can actually buy the tour bus. So it has been difficult, to say the least, finding time to do this podcast, but I have some good news. I have just figured out that I can do this podcast at least some of the time while I'm actually working. For example, right now I am driving down the highway and I have the microphone clipped on my beard. That's right. I'm going down the highway with a microphone attached to my beard. That way I can have both hands on the steering wheel. I don't have to hold a microphone. I can pay attention to what I'm doing and everything is aces. Yeah. All right, so I have some future plans for the podcast. I really, really want to take this seriously because I truly believe that the podcast is the doorway that I need to get through to further myself in the world. I am not going to be this age forever, and driving a tow truck is going to start to eventually wear down on me. It actually already has quite a bit. I have a nerve issue in my back, which does in fact affect my right leg. Sometimes I will walk with a walking stick if I'm inside of a building that has concrete floors and I know that I'm going to be there a while. I will bring the walking stick, but normally I do okay. It's the weirdest freaking pain. It's like it feels like somebody's pouring cold water on my leg at the same time as it's burning. But if I touch my leg with my hand, it's like it's numb. It's like there's a piece of paper on my leg and my hand is rubbing the paper. That's what my leg feels like. It's really hard to explain. I have done so many tests from the doctor. I have x-rays, ultrasounds, vascular tests. I even went and let them stick needles in my leg muscles and my spine. And when the needles were inserted in me, they sent a freaking electric jolt of electricity through it to make sure that my muscles were responding and kicking and all that. Well, all that turned out good. The only thing left is a nerve issue. But I have what I thought was great insurance. Turns out to be just shitty. They have denied an MRI 10 times this year. We've had my family doctors ordered an MRI. They sent me to multiple specialists, and the specialists are even ordering it. And the insurance just keeps denying it. They're like, well, maybe you should try this. Go to a chiropractor first. Okay, that didn't work. Well, let's try this then. I think they sent me to get the electrified needles stuck in my spine because they didn't think I'd go through with it. Surprise! I went, and it sucked. But then they still deny it. So now they have me in physical therapy for the third time. I'm not sure what other trick they're going to play, but enough about that. What I was saying, driving a tow truck, it's an easy job. Most of the time you are sitting behind the steering wheel, driving down the road. You get out for your tow to hook the car up, pull it up on the bed, strap it down. You're out of the car maybe 10 minutes, and the rest of the time you're driving. It is not a very physically demanding job, but at the same time it really is, because sitting in a chair all day long is so bad for you. I used to walk town to town to town, hitchhiking, walking. I would walk 3 counties if no one would pick me up. And it sucked, but I could do it. And I had no problems at all, besides being tired and a little bit sore. Well, I go home from driving the tow truck. I have to elevate my legs because they're swollen from being in the sitting position all the time because there's no blood flow. Circulation's a real thing. Man, it sucks. But, yeah, it is. It's not demanding, but it is. It's the only way I can describe it. It's crazy. But as the years go by, I notice it gets a little bit harder and harder on me. The enjoyment of life goes down a little bit more with these medical issues that pop up from sitting in a truck all day. And I do not want that for myself. So I'm coming to the crossroads where I'm almost to the age here that I need to choose, what am I going to do with my life? Either I go the route that every tow truck driver in the world wants. They want their own truck because they can make their own hours. They can do what they want. At least they think. I'm sure it's a whole lot more than that. It's a lot harder than what it sounds. But I could either follow that dream, get my own truck, and do local runs, make enough money to make the ends meet, be happy, do social media on the side still. Or I can go the daring route and I can full throttle 100% into this social media venture and see where it takes me. There are plenty of avenues and routes it could go. I could end up with a television show. Hey, that would be freaking awesome. I could do that. I could be the next Lizard Lick Towing. Lizard Lick Towing. I could take up where they left off and bring some reality back to the towing world. That show is a great show. I loved it, but it kind of ruined it for towers because the network pushed for more bang for their buck. A guy showed up with a freaking rocket launcher to get his car. I saw an episode where a guy ramped a dirt bike over the wall of the impound to get in there to get his car, to steal it. I mean, yeah, people do some pretty stupid and crazy things, but you can definitely tell that show was scripted towards the end. And Lizard Lick Towing will even tell you the same thing. They had to get out of it because they didn't like the direction the network was pushing them. I cannot see myself letting a network incorporate an army tank into an impound, for one. Of course, I'm not in those shoes, so I can't say that I could say no. In all honesty, they throw enough dollar signs at me, I'd like, well, heck yeah, let's do it. Just like any human being. But at the same time, I want to keep towing true to real life. That way people don't get an exaggerated feel for it. I want people to see what it's really like, because it really is an adventure, even on the most mundane day. You'll be doing a couple auction cars, a couple private local tows, and then you'll get that one where it's like, holy crap, this car ends up flipping in a ditch 3 times, wrapping around a tree, and you have to figure out how to get that car off that tree, back up the ditch, through the creek. It's pretty amazing. I could be stuck in town all day long doing short tows, and then at 5 o'clock at night a call comes in, hey, you're going to Chicago. You do not know what you're going to get from day to day in towing, and that's one of the things that I absolutely love about this job. I cannot tell if you guys can hear me breathing or not with this microphone so close to my mouth. If you can, I do apologize, and I will try to edit that out. But yeah, so I cannot remember where I was going with this story, but I'm getting to the age I need to decide what to do, and I think the podcast is going to open the doors that I need to make that decision. In all honesty, I'm hoping to go with the social media aspect because it is fun to me. I love it. I enjoy it. I love being behind the camera. My imagination is endless. When I was 18 years old, I got my first credit cards, and handheld camcorders were pretty new. I mean, they had the big ones you carry on your shoulder for a while already. The miniature, the handheld small camcorders were really new. And I used every bit of that credit card to get a camcorder because I wanted to follow myself and my friends around on our adventures as teenagers and record it. And boy, oh boy, did we record some stuff. Mainly stuff that would get us thrown in jail now because social media wasn't around back then, or else I am sure we would have posted it and ended up in trouble. Lots of fights, lots of road trips. One of the things we like to do on our road trips a lot, innocent kid fun, is we would all have a basketball. We would drive around, we'd flip a coin to go right or left at roads, and we would end up, on the other side of the state before the night was over. But if we passed a house in the country road, if we were driving down the road and we passed a house that had a basketball goal, we had a ritual that we called hoop it up. We had to stop that car and get out and make a basket on that person's basketball goal. We could not leave until all 4 or 5 of us had hit our layup. Slam dunk, whatever. Of course, it's 2 a.m. usually, and we're out in, BFE where the homeowners have shotguns and bear traps everywhere. And there's always the one guy in the group who just can't settle for a quick layup so we don't get shot. He wants to pull off a freaking half-court shot at 3 a.m. in the dark, and the ball goes boing off into the woods, and we're all searching for the freaking ball so we don't get shot. But that's the kind of stuff that we did. It's before we got introduced to drugs and addiction. Hell, before cigarettes even. I didn't smoke until I was in my 20s. And worst decision I ever made right there. But that's the kind of fun that we had, and that's the kind of fun I would like to have again. But yeah, I have been fascinated with being behind the camera since day one. I would enter the talent shows in school, and I would rock the talent shows. I would win. Go on to the state fair talent show after that. Oh man, to be young again, I swear. I would do anything. But yeah, so this podcast, I believe, is going to be the window I need. So I'm going to go full throttle into this podcast. I will be recording, telling my stories as I drive, like I am right now. And I am hoping to get guests to come online on my days off. I have my friend Jesse who helps me. Have him come down. I would like to have the guy from Big Stiffy, as you might know him. His name is Jason. I would like to have him on there. We're going to have to figure out how to incorporate Zoom meetings so we can all be on the screen together and talk together. Yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be an adventure, and I'm excited about it. But yeah. So let's get the podcast going, guys. I am now in town driving. People probably think I'm a little bit of an oddball talking to myself going down the road, but I did grow up here, so they do already know me, so it's no secret that I'm an oddball. I don't know if you guys know her or not. Trailer Park Tammy. Trailer Trash Tammy's her name. I watch her videos and she cracks me up. Her and Officer Daniels and Donnie Baker. I've actually talked to Donnie Baker. He doesn't live far from me. We're in the same vicinity. It would be so great if I could get him to collaborate with me. Although there's not much for him to gain because, of course, he is the bigger name, and I would get all the spoils. So it's going to take some convincing. But yeah, Trailer Park Tammy, she cracks me up, and I've been watching her, and she has a freaking podcast. So I've started listening to that, and it's kind of taught me how to do a podcast, what podcasts should consist of, and I'm taking notes. Heck, she went on a freaking tour here recently. She went all around the country. She drove her vehicle. And when she was doing pretty big freaking shows too, selling out these auditoriums, and I was like, wow. That was when it really hit me, the social media presence can actually go far in this world. It's more than just making a couple videos. You can actually build a career off of it. Do stand-up comedy shows, which I think I would be great at if I could just get it going. I have tried to get a manager or I'm not sure what it's called. Somebody to represent me, to book, get me booked in places, meet and greets and stuff like that, because it's really freaking hard for me to do it myself while I'm working full time as a tow truck driver. But I think I would do okay at this kind of stuff. I could start off real small, do American Legions, and well, hell, Donnie Baker came to my little town of Martinsville, and he did a show in the freaking American Legion here this year. That blew my mind. But yeah, I think I could do that. It would be nothing for me to stand there and just be real. I could tell people the crazy, ridiculous stuff that myself and others did during our not so bright days, the days of the drug use, inventions we came up with, misadventures we had. While many of the stories are sad in the end, there were some funny moments that I think would make some good entertainment, and maybe even a little life lesson at the end of them. Who knows? But it'd be nothing for me to be real. Tell stories about that. Tell stories about towing. I run into crazy stuff all the time. I've been a magnet for it my whole life, and I believe that just the towing stories alone would be enough to, bust a gut laughing. Oh man. And, that's not even including personal life stuff. I could go on forever and ever. It would actually kind of be hard to whittle all these stories down to an hour to 2 hour show, whatever it is. It would be hard to choose which stories I would tell and which ones I would have to leave out, because they're all freaking hilarious in my opinion. But anyway, I just wanted to put something on the podcast here, so you guys did not think I forgot about you, because I have not. I've just been really busy. It is tow show convention season, and I've already went to the Florida show. I have one in Indiana coming up. Then there's Tennessee, Baltimore, Ohio's got one, Texas has one, although I probably won't go to it. I already missed the Las Vegas show, which makes me sad, but there is always next year. yeah, so it's been a busy time for me, and it's been very hard doing multiple full-time jobs and still, tending to my marriage, my family life, being a papal. Uh, it's it's a handful, but I welcome it because idle hands are the devil's playpen, and keep me as busy as you can because I don't want to go down that road ever again. I won't go down that road again. So anyway, I hope you guys have a great time, and I hope you keep coming back and tuning in and listening to what I have to say, even if you think I'm boring. I appreciate you listening because you're obviously listening right now, right? Yeah. All right, you guys have a nice one and stay safe. And I guess that's it. Stay safe.